Hello and welcome to HT Auto. I'm Shubhadeep Chakravarti and we are today at the Jeep event where Jeep India has launched the 2024 version of their Wrangler SUV. To speak to us more about the model and a whole lot more, we are joined today by Kumar Priyesh. He's the Brand Director of Jeep India. Priyesh, thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking to us.
Thanks, Subha, for being here out of your busy schedule and really appreciate this.
All right, Priyesh. So clearly, I think we're sitting here, but the spotlight is being taken away by the car behind us. So let's just talk about this car first. What does the Wrangler brand mean to Jeep and to specifically customers here in India?
So Wrangler, it's going to be the most premium lifestyle SUV that the Indian market has ever witnessed. That's going to be very clear. It's a product which has been known for off-roading. It's an iconic product, unique product. But what's going to happen maybe in the days to come or in the months to come, Wrangler is going to be equally good for the on-roading thing, because as we shared with all of you, the new features that are getting added, like maybe ADAS, Napa sitting, the better your navigation screens, 6 airbags. So all those things are also going to give you an equally good on-road experience.
So Wrangler has always been a bad boy. What you're essentially saying is this is a bad boy which now has a good heart. So from within there is a whole lot of convenience, comfort features for the urban explorer, so to speak. Is that a correct way of looking at the latest Wrangler?
To some extent, yes, it was a bit poetic, but yes,
All right.
It was correct.
All right. How much has the Indian car buying audience now evolved to the whole concept of adventure driving, off-roading as an experience, as something that's part of their lifestyle? How much has the Indian car buyer evolved to that, and how much has that actually helped a brand like Jeep in overall and a car like the Wrangler?
So when it comes to the evolution of the Indian customers, when it comes to experiencing lifestyle products and maybe off-roading capable products, they are still maybe evolving, I would say. It's not there, but it's gradually coming up. And maybe to further promote that, we are looking at doing a lot of things like Jeep camps, Jeep trails, where we invite our customers to actually experience the product. Because these things, unless you experience, you don't know what the capabilities are. So that is something which is going to be a core focus for all of us from the Jeep side, to make the customers aware of this. Because we have seen the customers who actually experience this car go for it, and then they create that desire they just keep out looking for some opportunities for maybe off-roading and things like that. So I am saying means it's going to be there, it's midway, but it's definitely going to be there, and it's going to help us as a brand.
But then Priyesh, also then help me understand, what does Jeep as a brand, how do you see it being positioned in the Indian car market? Because on the one end you have a vehicle like the Compass. Then you have on the other end of the spectrum a Grand Cherokee.
Correct.
Now, these are cars that to some degree have an aspirational value. Is Jeep then a niche brand, or is it fast also trying to become a more mass appealing brand?
So we are going to be more accessible to all segment of customers. Yes, it's an aspirational product. It's a lifestyle product, that goes without saying. So in all the segments we are, Compass, Meridian, Wrangler or Grand Cherokee, we are the premium ones. And we are going to maintain that premiumness. It's going to be a lifestyle statement going forward as well. But as I mentioned, the customer base itself is evolving. The customer thought process is evolving. So that's going to definitely help Jeep as a brand to position itself as the premium lifestyle product.
But let's be honest, are you also chasing volumes? Because very frankly, cars like Wrangler, the Grand Cherokee, as much as they are capable and as much as they may carry that aspirational tag, they're not really going to break in numbers, the volumes. So are you in that game? If yes, then how are you tackling that? And if no, why not?
So I will not say that we are not in that number game, but we are not going to compromise on the quality of customers or the profile of customers which we are looking at. What we are looking at is to expand that base altogether. And for that we are doing a lot of things, like we are getting into a niche marketing sort of thing, like focused marketing on the customers whom we want to be a Jeep customer, let's say. We are also, I talked about the network expansion part of it. So we are going to expand the network to different parts of the country so that the product becomes more accessible. One key pillar of our strategy is going to be the corporate sales, because the corporates are they are the desired profile of customers that we are looking at. So corporate sales is going to be one key vertical, and the entire channel is going to be aligned to that. So these are the couple of things which we are looking at, and goes without saying, a premium after sales service experience is something which is on my top list. So
all right, so volume, but not in the actual definition of volume.
We are not going to be in that rat race.
All right.
But yes, we have also aspirations, and we will pick up the volumes with all the things which I mentioned to you.
Right. The reason I'm also asking this question is because in global markets, you have products which may be positioned a little below even the Compass. Now, why not actually explore the idea of getting some of those products to the Indian market instead of, say, focusing on models like the Grand Cherokee? Why not also have models like the Renegade, for example? It's a small, compact, and yet it's an SUV. So why not have models more on those lines, or those on the end of that spectrum?
Very good question. We are evaluating everything, to be very honest with you. It's not being limited to, let's say, Compass on one side and Grand Cherokee on other side. We are evaluating the let's say, ever-changing customer expectations, the market dynamics, and basis that whatever we find is appropriate for the market, we will come with those products. And we are not limiting us to any outer band of the spectrum. So that's very clear. It will be definitely aligned to the market, aligned to the customer needs, and also the business case for us.
Fair enough. Let me just get to an interview that the Jeep CEO, global level, Antonio Filoni, he gave to Automotive News recently, where among a lot of things, one of the questions was also focusing on India and why the performance has been what it has been. Now, to that question, he responded that while there is a fair degree of localization, supply chain has been, he didn't exactly use the word challenging, but that's what he was sort of insinuating. And that perhaps is sort of keeping Jeep below its potential. What are your views on both the localization part and suppliers? I believe you have around 500 suppliers in the country.
Correct.
But what is your view? What more can possibly be done to expand that and then perhaps to bring costing a little bit lower?
So we are looking at localization in a big way. Means right now, if I have to share with you, it's maybe to the tune of 65 to 70% localization in the next couple of years. And it's not too far from now. We are looking at taking it beyond 90%. And a lot of things are being done. So getting local suppliers, developing them, developing the products locally. So it's a need of the hour. Means if I have to grow, and I talked about the numbers as well, we are not going to be limiting ourselves to the current set of numbers.
Right.
We will be also looking at higher set of numbers. So localization makes the overall ecosystem more friendly to the Indian market. And that's what is one of the priorities we have.
Right. Just moving a little forward with the product lineup, can you give us a bit of a glimpse into what we can expect post the Wrangler as well? I mean, you have the Meridian in the product portfolio. So what sort of movements can we expect from Jeep in the months to come?
So I'll start with what we did in the last couple of days. So we launched this special edition, which is the Compass Night Eagle, which is a fully loaded variant. Then obviously this is the Wrangler, the all new one. And post this, we have the Meridian 2.0. Again, we are looking at which all features to be a part of that Meridian. It has to be aligned to the market. It has to be something which appeals, and it has to maintain the core DNA of Jeep. So all those things are being evaluated. Post that also, we will have a couple of product launches, but at this point in time, I might not be in a position to share that with
Absolutely, I understand. Which gets me to one of my final questions. There's a whole lot of talk about electrics. Clean driving, clean energy, zero emissions for vehicles like the one that's behind us, and generally the vehicles that are robust, tough, off-road beasts as they're called. They're not really known for their, green credentials, so to speak. So what I'm trying to ask you is, in a world which is fast embracing green technology, how is then Jeep preparing to not just stay relevant, but to be sort of ahead of the curve?
So globally, if I have to talk about this, we also have got the electric vehicles, and going forward also we are going to launch the big ones like Wrangler and Rubicon in the electric variants. We have the 4xe. So we are already there. If I have to talk of global, if the domestic market, we are just exploring which product should be fitting the market, which product will be maybe as per the customer expectations and the infrastructure that we have. We are very closely monitoring the changes in the infrastructure, the government policies, the regulations which are coming in, and as we discussed, the regulations are also changing quite fast. So keeping all those things, we are also evaluating the electric vehicles, but we are very serious about this, and we will come out with an option very soon.
All right, super. We started with the Wrangler, so I'm going to end with the Wrangler. What sort of numbers were you doing with the previous generation Wrangler? And if I can just ask you to predict, what sort of numbers in terms of bookings are you expecting for this latest Wrangler?
So with this new Wrangler, we expect to grow by almost 70 to 80% over the numbers which we were doing. And if I have to talk of the bookings, well, it's quite initial, but already our dealers have got 100 plus bookings with them. So it's going to be quite interesting and exciting for us, and I'm quite hopeful about
All right,
this.
super. Interesting, exciting, and of course, this car is both and a whole lot more. Do not forget to check out our drive review of the latest Wrangler from Jeep India as well. For now, though, we'll let Priyesh go. Busy man. Thank you so much for taking the time out and
Thank
speaking
you.
to us.
Thanks, Shivu.